Hey everybody, welcome to Horror Movie Night. This episode is sponsored by our Patreon subscriber, Scott Howley. You may know Scott as one of the two co-hosts of Scott and, holy shit, my brain just shut off. Scott and Liam versus Evil. Oh my god, I knew that it was Liam, and I wanted to keep saying Ian. Scott and Liam versus Evil. Scott has requested that we promote his podcast Twitter instead of his own Twitter. So follow Scott at Scott and Liam versus because he doesn't use his personal one. So thank you, Scott, for donating. It's a big deal to us that you guys threw anything towards us, because I can probably speak for Adam and Scott here when I say, like, in the podcasting community, there's a select group of podcasts that you kind of see as your equals and your peers, that your guys are all, like, friendly and in it together and are, you know, a good collective. And Scott and Liam are definitely in that collective for me. And I think it's the same for Adam and Scott, as kind of one of those shows that we consider equal to us and just really cool dudes. So thank you for donating to the Patreon. And now let's talk about a piece of shit that somebody made us watch. This week on Horror Movie Night, we head down under with a couple of protein drinks with the Australian gross-out flick Body Melt. We all look buff while we keep it in the family. And speaking of our longtime friend Kannon here with us today, just as a special little treat, we're going to let him explain the plot for us. So go ahead, Kannon.
Oh, no.
Give us a summary.
No.
What exactly is happening in Body Melt?
Oh no, this movie's totally incomprehensible. I have no idea how I would begin explaining it.
Just in a couple quick sentences. Why don't you tell us what's happening?
Okay. No, I can try. So the film is a critique of pop culture.
This is fucking already starting, isn't it?
I'm not going to use a couple short sentences. You can't describe this as in a couple sentences. So they're critiquing basically the smart pill craze that started in the early 90s, and so there's a clinic. They're secretly dosing this small community with smart pills, and but these pills are they're mutagenic, and it basically mutates and kills these people, and that's the story. There's there's no other way to explain it.
All right, so
you did a pretty good job there. Yeah, that's about it.
Well, that was Body Melt. Thanks, guys.
So I own this on DVD because, of course, I do, and and the DVD that I have has an intro to it, hosted by she calls herself Katrina, and as far as I can tell, she is the Australian Elvira. So she starts off the movie starts off with a 5-minute thing of her just giving some of the historical context of the movie and this, that, and the other thing. And there was two things that I wanted to write down and bring up right out the gate because I think they explain the movie very well. So the director of this movie had never made a movie before, but he had an electronica band called Tisk Tisk Tisk, which he did all of the music videos for, which completely makes sense when you think about this movie, because it does just feel like a bunch of electronica music videos crashed together with a thinly explained plot to tie it all in. But the other context she wanted to give was that the film was fairly subversive on an Australian standpoint, because literally the entire cast was essentially made up of people from the Australian versions of like Friends and Days of Our Lives,
and CSI.
So she kind of said like it'd be the equivalency of if like the cast of Friends starred in Reanimator, and how like people in America would be like, "What the fuck is going on? Why are they doing this?"
God, that would be amazing.
Well, no, I mean, if it actually had the budget of Reanimator and the actual like
plotline,
cinematography, and a solid plot. Well, not even a solid plot, but a plot. I don't know. I feel like maybe I'd be a little happier with having sat through this. But as it stands, so a little backstory for listeners new and old alike. So Kannon was one of the. I don't know if you were first generation, but you were early on there when we were doing Reddit Horror Club. You joined on, and you constantly antagonized us by being like, "Well, like this piece of crap horror movie is really just it's a social commentary." Well, what the fuck was that movie that? Guys, help me out here. That the Kannon picked, and he was like, yeah, but really, it's supposed to be this, and this."
Every
like
movie that Kannon picks.
Yeah, so
that was pretty much every movie I picked. I had some made up spiel about it.
And then he got mad and stopped picking movies with us when he did Frankenstein's Army, and at least I had the time of my life watching that piece of shit because that movie's awesome. And he like swore off Horror Club. He was like, you know what, I can't troll them anymore, so I'm not even gonna try.
But then he made us watch Tusk because he wanted us to see what happens.
Oh, you were the one who did Tusk.
Yeah,
oh,
he wanted us to see what happens when podcasters don't appreciate their subject material.
So that's Kannon for everyone. He's a right bastard, as they say,
and we love him. We love him to death.
No. We would expect nothing less from him. But I'm pretty sure that me protesting doing Body Melt so many times is why he picked this, and also probably why Matt was like, yeah, let's have Kannon back on the show. Because Matt had probably seen it already and was like, oh, it's not that bad, but I'm not going to tell Scott that. Because I thought there was going to be a super gross out, like, I don't know, but it was really tame. I was actually more bored than anything else.
Well, let's hear it from God's mouth to our ears. Why did you pick this movie, Kannon?
Oh no, I thought Scott had already seen the movie for some reason. I must have been mistaken. No, I thought Scott would hate it. And,
well, I mean, I didn't enjoy it, so I guess mission accomplished.
No, I don't aim for mediocrity. I go for the complete irritation, and I failed you. I'm sorry.
No, you went for mediocrity, and you fell smack dab right in the middle of it. This movie. I mean, it also makes so much sense that the director just did electronica videos because he also the music is just the worst thing ever in this film.
Oh, it's terrible.
Just beep, boop, boop. It's garbage.
Oh, you didn't like the music? I thought that was the one redeeming point about it because it was. No, I'm lying. It was fucking terrible.
There's definitely there's at least one track that sounds like the dude's cat just ran across the keyboard and he was like, "That works." We'll throw that in there.
And the rest of them sound like, when you were a kid and you would either play on somebody's electric piano or get one of just the really short ones. It's just like one octave, and then they've got the beats that you could riff over. It was like he hit the beat and then just.
What were there any redeeming? Because there were some parts of Body Melt that I kind of liked because it's not like we were talking earlier about how anthology films, like short story films, they're kind of likable, and this film is such a hot mess. It's almost like an anthology because it feels like none of the individual plots, like subplots, are connected to each other, other than the fact that they're spontaneously mutating. What the fuck was that rib scene anyway? I don't understand what was going on.
Okay, so the pills. The first step is you hallucinate. and then the second step is, or like the first step is euphoria, the second step is hallucination, the third step is
no. It's the first step is hallucination. The second step is glandular, and the third is, and then the guy dies. The guy goes out the windshield. So I assume the third step is a car accident.
Yeah. Okay, but like they talk about it that like that there are 3 stages to what these pills do to you. And the first one is it makes you hallucinate. So apparently that was like his ex-lover that died or something. I mean, and really, I guess that if you were to take this movie and break it out into each vignette as its own piece instead of trying to weave a bigger story with it, that would be the best of the vignettes. That guy who's hallucinating about, like, he's like a cop or something. I don't know. But that part is probably the most coherent. My least favorite would be the rednecks, or whatever you call Aussie rednecks. But it was Bogans. Is that really?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, I mean, it seems too weird to have just made up. Like,
okay. So you guys know that when a movie's pacing sucks, I rely quite heavily on the fast forward button. The part of this movie that I actually fast forwarded through, well, scrubbed, I could still see what's happening, was the Aussie rednecks, because I was like, why is this little Shav gonna have sex with this ogre of a woman? And then she's like, do you want a love bite? I'm like, well, he's gonna get eaten. It doesn't make sense with the idea of body melt, but he's still gonna get eaten. So it was kind of predictable there, but like, it's just not entertaining. And I guess that's the most, I guess it's hard to pick which portion of this movie is the most ham-fisted social commentary, but I think that the redneck's house, which is full of like celebrity memorabilia, but old celebrity memorabilia, is like Elvis and all sorts of old crap in it, and it's all falling apart, it's very much supposed to look like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre house, but without bodies strewn everywhere. It was just like celebrity memorabilia. So I mean, I get it. Like, I'm not dumb. I understand what this movie is trying to do, but I just don't think it hit the mark at all. And I don't think it deserves like the praise that it gets, because it's not entertaining to me. I mean, okay, so I watched this.
Who said it was? Who praised this movie?
Dude, I told Adam and Matt this, that you guys, or you particularly, need to read the IMDb reviews of this movie, because I was like, why is this movie a cult movie? It's not even as gross as I was expecting, because a lot of the times when you expect a gross out moment to happen, it cuts away. It's like it cuts away. And then they say something like some sort of joke that's like an in joke. If you watch these Australian TV shows, like the police procedurals, a lot of it is like the CIS or CSI TV shows where the cops just make some like weird, shitty quip. But anyway, this movie has a huge amount of praise on IMDb, and I was expecting them to explain why.
Wait, hold on. I'm gonna let you finish.
What?
On IMDb has it as a 4.9 out of 10. I mean, it's not exactly.
Yeah. No, but I'm saying, like, if you read recent reviews, like if you read the reviews by most recent, I believe is how I did it. I don't know. I wasn't paying too much attention. I was on my phone reading them instead of on a laptop or desktop. But I think that I ordered them by most recent, and so I think that critics think this movie's shit. But since it has such a cult following, because in Australia, these Australians are like, this movie's amazing. This is the best Australian horror film ever. I'm like, seriously? No, I don't think it is at all. But I guess that there is like a cultural divide here that's making it difficult for us to like really get into what's happening in this film. But I was kind of, so I watched this movie on Vimeo because I wasn't about to spend money to pay to buy a copy like Matt would, and I don't have the box that Adam has. So I'm watching it and I'm like, is this an edited version? Because it keeps cutting away when it's about to be the gross out stuff. And then it was just really strangely edited in such a way that I was like, man, this must be an edited version. No, it's the theatrical version. And it came to me because I was like, okay, the guy did music videos, so it's cut really weird because he's like thinks he's working against a set amount of time, because music videos can only be X amount of minutes long. And then also I checked the runtime. It was like 92 minutes or something, 82 minutes, I don't know. And I checked like the official runtime on IMDb. It's the same amount. So I was like, well, I guess it's just the movie that I watched. So I was really let down because this movie wasn't like the gross out classic I thought it would be. And to be fair, I don't necessarily want it to be a gross out classic. That's not my preferred genre. But I was expecting it to be way grosser than Street Trash. And it's really, really tame. Like, Street Trash is way grosser. Street Trash turned my stomach so much when I watched it for the one and only time I'll ever watch it. But
That's what you think, buddy.
Hey, so no, we're never doing Street Trash. Like, we did Body Melt, and that was my concession.
Oh, okay. You said Street Trash? Oh, thank you.
I will say, so there's like maybe two positive things that I can say about this movie. I do really enjoy some of the special effects on the melts. There's one dude...
But there are only two, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's one dude in particular where he is literally melting. Like, his face is like... You see his skull and his eyes are kind of popping out, and it's just like this weird pussy shit falling down. I really like that effect. A lot of them are fucking awful as well. Like the chick's head falling apart, or the giant tongue, or like...
The giant tongue really sucked, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think that was the worst. I think that the placenta that like ate its way into the guy's face was a really good kill. That was the grossest kill of the movie, in my opinion.
That whole scene really upset me. And like, where at the end of the scene, the tentacles are all like whipping around her opened stomach, and then the camera sort of goes into her stomach as well. Like, that, as far as gross out, was a scene that actually kind of like upset me for a second. I was like, oh, fucking hell.
Wait. Have you ever seen Species 2?
I'm sure that I have, because I remember when I was younger, I bought like a 3-set of Species so that I could pause it and jerk off to it.
Right, yeah. So Species 1, it's kind of sexy, right? Because it's got, I can't even remember her name, the blonde woman.
Just the chick from Species, as she was known in the episode of South Park.
Yeah.
So the first Species, yes, was great, like wank material in 1994 or whenever it came out. And then Species 2 came out, and it's about a male astronaut who gets infected with this alien virus of some sort, and it makes him like want to fuck everyone. And when he does, all the women immediately become pregnant and have a rapid pregnancy that is a monster baby. Like, okay, so you're expecting, if you're a horny teenager in the 90s, like we were, and you rent Species 2, you're thinking titties. That's going to be the movie with some aliens. No, in the first 5 minutes, the guy comes back down from his space adventure, fucks two women in the bathroom of his like return home, let me give you a medal party, and then one of them immediately becomes pregnant, and these tentacles fly out of her like crotch, I believe, if not her stomach, and they latch onto the other woman's face and kill them both. It's horrifying. Like, it is one of the most unsettling scenes in a movie that I can probably ever imagine. It's awful. And so if this part made you feel uncomfortable, you may or may not want to go watch Species 2 and feel sick and not have an erection for like a week. So I think that was kind of the concept that they went for with this, but it was perfected in Species 2 because they had an actual budget. Yeah.
So the only other things that I have even kind of notes for is one thing literally just says the rollerblading sequence.
The rollerblade scene. That is pretty unsettling. Like, yeah. I was like, man, the kid even dies.
Are you kidding me? The pregnant woman died. That's got to be worse than the little kid dying. The kid was a jackass.
Well, every kid in every horror movie is a jackass. Have you seen The Babadook?
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so I have a couple serious problems with the logic in this film. I know this is just beating a dead horse because this movie is not about logic, but let's just go with this thought experiment here. So, at the beginning, when the guy decides to drive to the town that is being dosed with these mutating pills, why doesn't he just call them? I don't quite understand his motive. But anyway, so I'm assuming that he understands that the pills mutate you, but he's like kicking them back like Pez. I don't understand it. And then he knows that he's mutating, and so he gets a thing of dish soap and chugs it, and that doesn't really do anything. It's just kind of like hey, let's have this guy chug this green liquid. But then that comes back around at the end when the guy who works that gas station, it says something to somebody on screen at the end, and then it shows the pills that they are still there. So let's rewind about 10 minutes in the movie. The police know that the pills mutate people. They also know that that spa resort, whatever, is behind it all, and they shut it down. They put everything in bags and probably incinerate it. How is stuff at that gas station? That doesn't make any sense. Like,
No,
they would know, people would know that stuff will kill you.
I think you have a great point, because to me, critiquing this movie is totally pointless. But
it's absolutely.
I'm gonna try to humor you, because I think like sometimes when they have recalls, not everyone actually recalls the product. Like there's people still with Samsung Galaxy S7s or Note 7s or whatever. So it could have been that they just didn't get notice of the recall.
Yeah, but I feel like wouldn't the police be like, oh, this is a toxic compound, we should probably go through their shipping log, or I don't know. It just seems silly. For a gotcha moment, it seems like, come on, you could have done a lot better.
No, hold on a second. No, the pills that guy takes at the very beginning, at the beginning of the film, are uppers, because he's starting to hallucinate.
But no, they're still the same color pills, man. Like they're the green and yellow pills. I don't think that. It just seems like if he's trying to warn the town not to take the pills, why would he be taking the pills? Also, this touches back on the bodybuilder with the high voice, who pops a bunch of pills, and then his dick explodes, and then he decides to bang this chick and at the spa. So he decides to have sex with her because that makes sense. They just wanted to show some more boobs, I guess. And so why did they go with him just squeezing her head off and then dying while he's like on top of her, instead of having his monster penis do something to her? Like, wouldn't that logically be, if you're making a movie called Body Melt, wouldn't you go with the logical, ridiculous extreme of body horror there?
That's a good point.
Or they could get stuck together or something. I mean, or he could melt on top of her, or she could melt underneath him. It doesn't matter. I mean, this movie is 25 years old. Obviously, we can't go back in time and make it a good movie. But I don't understand how people that know what the pills are doing, especially like the head bad lady, she downs like an entire bottle of pills while she's trying to write up she's trying to like look through the research for a new version of it or something, and she's like popping pills, and then she melts. So it doesn't make sense to me that people that know what this shit does are like, well, I might as well just kill myself.
I can explain some of this because there were different. I don't want to. There were different versions. There were different versions of the pill, and like there was a poisonous version that she injected the chemist with who crashed his car.
Oh, so why does he have similar little like mutations as? It just seems weird that, okay, if they have multiple versions of the pill and they all are bad, like they all hurt you, Why would they take them themselves? It just seems like they're playing with fire there.
I think the ones that they were taking personally, they didn't think were poisonous, but it turned out that like pretty much everything was deadly. And so to explain the bodybuilders' behavior, like why they bang. So the first phase is they start to hallucinate. So maybe they were both hallucinating. I don't know.
I think that's the only way that you could have that bodybuilder dude's crotch anywhere near you.
Yeah, the guy was swole, and I do like that, but I would have turned it down.
Look at Kannon Myron over there.
Yeah.
He's over there just like licking his chops, and like, damn son.
But the second phase is glandular, and I took that to mean they bang. Their libido increases. So that explains why everyone's having sex.
But the thing is that, like, who else is having sex? I don't really. Oh, you mean like the cannibal rednecks?
Yeah, the job.
Did they take pills? Did I miss them taking pills?
They were all everyone in there had been dosed secretly.
Oh, okay. I guess that makes it less of an anthology and more of a straight plot. But man, that's confusing.
It's still basically an anthology. There's very little plot coherency other than a few like random strings. I'm trying to make sense of a pile of shit. I really don't know whether or not that was their intention, but it kind of makes sense if the glandular part was referring to like an increase in sexual libido, because everyone in all 5 story arcs, and then the scene that ties it all together. I think in 4 of them there's like sex involved, right? There's
maybe.
Well, there's a pregnant woman. She apparently had sex in the past.
Oh, okay. I guess she counts.
Yeah, that really attractive woman who she was naked. Like she's having sex with a whistleblower, right?
Oh yeah, okay.
And the 2 Bogan guys want to like are on a road trip to try and get laid as well.
That was their whole.
Oh, good.
Is that why they went there? Because I totally missed that. Like point. They wanted to go to the health spa because they had a picture of the main antagonist lady, but they just ended up. I don't even know how their windscreen got broken. I didn't even see that part. But they ended up at the hillbilly farm and ended up getting killed. But the point was to go to the health spa.
Yeah, it's a pretty incoherent mess. But if you work hard enough, you can probably make sense of it.
And I honestly don't feel like this is nearly as bad as your last pick, Tusk. I wasn't like upset watching this film. I was just kind of confused.
Oh yeah, you were a little upset about me.
Yeah, a little.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't understand why you're upset about that. It was a fantastic movie. I stand by that pick.
So, what did you guys watch this week?
Well, I can go if you'd like.
Yeah, go for it.
I decided to extend my pain and watch another Aussie body horror movie that I had never gotten around to. I watched Bad Taste, Peter Jackson's first film.
Oh, it's so good.
Is it?
I love Bad Taste.
I didn't really like it. I thought that it was really... I was like, this took 4 years to make? Come on now.
Well, it took 4 years to make because they only shot on weekends.
I know. It's just a joke, Matt. It's not Elton John. Sorry.
Sorry, it's not the... Yeah, sorry. Getting defensive.
I appreciate it for what it is. I felt like the scene where all the Lord Crumb is talking about their plans, because every evil mastermind needs to tell everyone his plans. That part where he's standing on the staircase and all the aliens in the blue shirts are about to eat the guy's neon green puke. I was like, did they film this in the same house that they did Dead Alive? I mean, it must be an homage because in Dead Alive to that scene, because it's like it looks so similar.
Well, I'm sure it was. I'm pretty sure the first 3 movies that Peter Jackson made were just at his house, essentially. It was like Bad Taste, Meet the Feebles, and then Dead Alive, which like dramatic change in film stock quality between those first two and Dead Alive. But so I actually haven't gotten a chance to watch very much this week again because my life's been kind of insane. But I do want to promote an album that I've been listening to nonstop that is a very not Matt Kelly album to promote, and really probably not anything that I could convince any listeners to listen to. But been listening to the new Bruno Mars album a lot, and it's really fucking good. It's like
Really?
it's like a Prince meets James Brown album, and I fucking love it.
I'm gonna save my what did I watch for next week so that Kannon doesn't have to sit through 6 pages of notes about a trashy TV show from the mid 2000s.
To be fair, I think he deserves it.
But I did read all of Injustice, DC's Injustice, Gods Among Us, yesterday, which doesn't really have anything to do with that like video game, the fighting video game that they did. It's like an alternate universe DC where Lois Lane dies, and so Superman kills the Joker, and then sort of goes insane from there, and just goes on like a crazy rampage where he like takes over the world as sort of like a despot ruler and like dictator. And that was really good. I enjoyed that. Except I read something like 150 issues of it, and then they ended on a fucking cliffhanger. So I'm not too fucking happy about that, because I don't know what happened, but apparently I don't get to.
Kannon, have you watched anything besides Body Melt?
My girlfriend doesn't let me watch horror movies anymore. But I've been trying to trick her into watching Split, which just came out in theaters in Germany.
I want to see it.
Days ago. Have you guys seen that? Is it any good?
Nope.
I haven't seen it, but
I watch it.
I did read what the spoiler is, and it's kind of dope. So
Yeah, I heard that spoiler on Reddit too, and I was like, God damn it, you guys.
yeah.
Someone ruined it on Reddit. Sons of bitches.
I mean, why do I even try?
Yeah, God forbid you don't see a movie opening day that has a twist ending.
It doesn't go front page. Right?
But it does seem like this is like one of the most well-reviewed M. Night movies in a long fucking time, so that's kind of grabbed my interest. Well, that was Body Melt from, I think, 1993. I don't really care enough to research it. As picked by Kannon. Don't forget that you can always pick movies by contacting us at hmnpodcast@gmail.com with your suggestions. Next week, we're going to be watching almost the exact same movie, so, look forward to that, I guess. Do you guys have anything that, any other things you need to promote for us right now?
Well, you can always find our Twitter at HMN Podcast over there. We're going to be interacting, posting the episodes. You can always check us out. What about you, Scotty?
We can, or you can, listen to us on SoundCloud.com/Horror Movie Night. You can also listen, rate, review, and subscribe to us on iTunes and through your favorite podcast app. We love when you send us emails with your suggestions for future picks, because especially if they have some sort of lurid story to go along with them, or you are an OG Better Horror Club friend, Kannon, we will sit through and suffer with you in something that you would be interested in doing. We have a Facebook group that is full of fanciful people who are awesome. Even my wife, who is real, by the way, shows up and posts sometimes. And we will be at Monster Mania in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, just in a few short weeks, the weekend of March 10th through the 12th.
Pretty excited about it, and I am hard working on trying to get us a live event as well. Details for that will be probably posted on the Facebook, because I don't think they'll be finalized before the newsletter comes out. So definitely make sure that you keep your eyes and ears peeled on the Facebook page. If you live anywhere near Cherry Hill, Philadelphia area, if you want to see us do a live show of what we do on here. Thank you for listening, and we'll be back next week. All right,
Sons of bitches.
all right.
You're the one who's trying to troll us with this pick, you son of a bitch.
Hold on a second.
No, you made me watch some pure crap over the last few weeks. Well, no, since your show started, I realized none of the picks that you make are any good. So how dare you? How dare you criticize?
Wait. Would both of you shut up, children? We have an intro that we have.
I have an intro, and this intro is fucking one of Adam's best. So, here we go.
You're listening to the Geekscape Network.